We have breaking news out of Chicago as Cubs starting pitcher Sandy Alcantara will miss at least the first 3 months of the season with a partially torn labrum. Now, Cubs GM Ozzie Villain had this to say just moments ago. Fucking hell, $29 million. Sake, man, honestly.
Go Cubs, go! Go Cubs, go! Hey Chicago, what do you say? The Cubs are gonna win today.
Hey guys, I'm Aussie Villain and welcome back to the Chicago Cubs. It is opening day on Season 5. We will be facing our conquerors in the wildcard series last season, Milwaukee, and we will be doing it without Sandy Alcantara on the mound because he's out for 3 months with a partially torn labrum. And, I mean, usually when I sign a big money pitcher like this, we get one start out of them before they ruin their careers with injury. We didn't even get that out of Sandy. He did it in spring training. So, yeah, wonderful start to the season. $29.5 million we're paying him, and he's missing half the season. But anyway, hopefully he'll come back fit, firing, and raring to go. Now, I was a little bit concerned that we'd signed a sick note, but if we have a look at his injury history, I think we are just a little bit unlucky. He's never been more than 2-3 weeks before with an injury. So, yeah, it happens, I suppose. But of course, the other concern is what sort of Sandy Alcantara do we get back after the injury? Hopefully still a relatively good one, but yeah, that is that. But other than this, it's not gone too badly. We don't have any new injuries outside of that, I don't think, do we? No, just Ben Brown, but he's a AAA player anyway. So our team for the new season, we can see it here now. Second base is that's going to be Rafaela. I probably don't have him set as a second baseman, but you can see we've got a couple of good prospects coming in. You can't really see all of it behind my head here, but there are some good prospects in the system. We've got 3 very good players at least with the bats and defensively there as well. And if we look at the team chemistry, well, we can see that we have more good than bad relationships with the coach, so that's good. And we've got 4 leaders even in the team, and no sort of bad influences at all on the clubhouse. So that's all looking very, very good. So how did spring training go, I hear you ask? And not too badly. We were equal, the best team in baseball with both ourselves, the Mets and the Jays. So yeah, I mean, Mets and Jays tend to not have good regular seasons, so maybe that doesn't bode well because the Cubs tend not to as well, I think, don't they? So, but yeah, that's how our spring training played out. So that's obviously a positive. We'd rather be at the top than the bottom in terms of a record. Now, the preseason predictions are a little bit of a different story. So we'll start with the American League, and we can see there how everything is expected to play out. Brad from Boston will not be pleased if the Yankees do end up topping their division. If we have a look at some of the top hitters and pitchers there, do we recognize any names there as former Cubs? I don't think so, though Max Fried is there, who in theory we could have signed this past season, but we went for Alcantara instead. But if we go down and look at the National League, yeah, we are not expected to be at 500. We are expected to be 18 games back of the Reds, and I don't think that's completely accurate. Surely we will be better than that. I think if you look at the pitching that we have, if we look at all the top pitchers there, again, there's no one there. We do have Vlad in amongst the top hitters, though, which is nice. Yeah, I mean, if you look at the pitching staff, it's star rating wise, it's not great, but it should be okay, I think, once we get going. Now, if we do have a quick look at our opening day rosters. So if we have a look here, our starting rotation, not necessarily in order, but Clark is back in, Croquet comes back in, Molina, who was the disappointment in spring training, Perkins and San Martin. Again, the ERAs are fine, aren't they? I mean, ERA pluses for the most part are fine. Molina maybe not quite so good. But there's nothing too concerning there, I don't think. It's a solid pitching rotation. We've seen that with our defense behind it. It works. There is 1 or 2 new names that come in. Nolan McLean is one. He had a very solid spring training. And the other one is Oliver Santos, who comes in as well. All the other names there will be familiar with you. The names that are missing, Alvarado, of course, we let go. And then I've got to try and remember who else is missing now. Obviously, McCullers is gone, but that's Alcantara, who's also gone. There's another middle reliever that's gone, but I can't think who it is right now. But that's okay. Well, doesn't matter. They're not here. So the new boys that are coming in, let's have a look first at Oliver Santos. Now, he's someone that we drafted in 2025, so 2 seasons ago. And yeah, he did well in spring training, and potentially there's a little bit there in terms of a pitcher. We did draft him as a starting pitcher, but his career to date, yeah, if we have a look at all levels here, he's come up fairly quickly. Didn't do great in Iowa last season. That was as a starting pitcher, though, so we'll give him a run. He did well in AA last season as a starting pitcher, so we'll give him a run out as in the bullpen and just see how he develops from there. But yeah, he has come up quite quickly. Still only 23. And the other new man is Nolan McLean. Now, he is in as much for his pitching as for his hitting. He hit brilliantly during spring training, and we'll see that in just a second. But he is a good late in the game bullpen pitcher. Now, his career to date in terms of pitching, we can see it there. He was briefly up with us last season, but didn't really do too much. He's never really excelled in pitching in AAA either, to be honest. But hopefully we'll get something a little bit special out of him. But we might as well do it while we're here. Have a look at his batting stats. And this is where he could in theory do quite well. Now, he's been used as a two-way player, but not particularly well, I'd say, in Iowa, where he has batted good, but limited opportunity. If we go all the way back to his high A days, I mean, for what it's worth, he did okay. 16 home runs. I mean, if we can get decent numbers out of him, as a sort of an Ohtani type, but not necessarily an Ohtani, you know what I mean? But as like a two-way player, that's what I'm trying to say. Then that'll be very, very nice indeed. But we'll just kind of see if we get spring training numbers out of him or not. If we have a look at the hitters. Here we go here, and you can see McLean at the top there did really, really well. Really did. Led the team actually in home runs, which is nice. Like I said, if we can get that out of him, then that's going to be brilliant. The bats weren't particularly alive, but we do have Vlad Jr. and Julian back. Some of them came back better than others. There's no real shocks here. We did put Backus back down to AAA. The reason for that, it was going to either be him or Mears, and Mears didn't have to clear waivers, and Backus didn't have to clear waivers, Mears did. We saw last season that Backus didn't really set the world on alight when he was playing, so I thought if we give him a season in AAA, or even just a little bit of time in AAA, try and build up that confidence a little bit, and see if we get a better Backus when he does come back in. We're going to have an interesting decision to make when Swanson comes back. I think it's going to be Triantos that misses out, if I'm honest, because we need Made to play second base. The other option, of course, is that we drop Made, keep Rafaela at second base, and because Made's bat has quietened down, but he is a very good defensive player for us. So we'll make that decision if and when the time comes. But anyway, I think it's just about time to check these opening day lineups as we host last season's conquerors, the Brewers.
On your feet, Chicago, for a brand new season as your Cubs take the field. At first base, it's Vlad Jr. At second base, it's Sadani Rafaela. At third base, a big Chicago welcome for Alex Bregman. Your shortstop tonight is Kevin May. In left field, it's William McQuaid. In center field, it's Pete Crow Armstrong. In right field, it's Brennan Davis. Tonight's designated hitter is Edward Julian. Behind the plate, it's Thomas Nido. And your opening day pitcher is Jack Perkins.
So there we go. The matchups look quite even, don't they? So it's Pete Crow Armstrong and leading us off in center field. Vlad bats second at first. McQuaid bats third at left field. It is cleaning up Bregman, the new man, at third base. It is Davis in right field batting 5. Julian in designated hitting batting 6. It is Rafaela, second base, batting 7. Made at shortstop bats 8. Nido, the catcher, bats 9. Perkins is on the mound for us. He gets the opening day start up against Corbin even Burns. The matchup goes to Corbin. We know from Perkins's couple of seasons with us, he is a little bit better than 2.5 star, I would say. So it's going to be interesting to see how this starts off. Obviously, opening day, it's not the end of the world, no matter what happens, win, lose, or draw. It's a first game for our new manager, though, and it would be very nice to show Milwaukee who is boss after they knocked us out last season. Okay, welcome to Wrigley for a brand new season. Now, I will apologize if the lineups are a little bit different to what we saw at the start there. Basically what happened is I started the game we got 2 outs. It was choppy, so I just checked drivers. I need to update a driver, but it needed to restart. So the previous 2 outs haven't been shown. But it looks as though, oh no, we've got a walk. So 1 out, 1 on. We initially had got the 2 outs, but that's okay. Choro comes up to bat. 1-2 pitch. That is into right field. That is going to be caught by Brennan Davis. And that will be that. Yes, I'm not sure if the Brewers actually changed their team or not, but it shouldn't have. I don't think they would have. It's opening day. It's not like players need a rest or anything. Stanton gets struck out, and that'll do it for the top of the first. We will go and have a bat. Petey Crow Armstrong to lead us off. A 1-2 pitch. And that is 1 away. Brings in Vlad. When you've got Vlad batting second, you're doing okay, aren't you? As he strikes out. 2 away. In comes McQuaid now. What can he do? A 2-2 pitch. And that is into centre field. Is it going to drop in? It is. So William McQuaid with a 2-out single. Which brings in Bregman for a first Cubs at bat. What can he do? A 2-2 pitch. It's into centre field. It is caught. And that'll do it for the first. It is scoreless. And it is Josh Naylor, Canadian Blue Jay participant. It's into centre field. It is going to drop in. And it is going to be a leadoff double, which is not particularly what we wanted, but that's okay. There is a few new names in this Brewers side, because Stanton wasn't there, Naylor wasn't there last year. Lewis was. He hit a grand slam, didn't he? And that is popped up. That should be caught. Runner will go back to second, and that'll be 1 away. In comes Kyle Teal. 1-0. And rips it past Vlad into right field. Can we stop the run from scoring? Oh, Brennan Davis, a rocket of an arm in right field. And that'll be out at the plate for 2 away. Runner at first. Chicken Schnitzel comes up to bat. A full count. A ground ball. Made has it over to first. Ends the second. So we maybe get away with a little bit there. But another great defensive play by Brennan Davis in right field. He will now lead us off. A first pitch swing. Brennan Davis. Is that going to drop in? It is. And that will be a leadoff single to welcome back Edward Julian to the plate. Let's see what he can do. First pitch, grounds it into a double play. Maybe was better off injured. That will be 2 away, no one on for Rafaela. And a full count on him. Rafaela watches. Is that not... Anyway, looked outside to me, but what do I know? Perkins will lead off, or go out to pitch the top of the third and lead them off with a 4-pitch walk. In will come Ahuna, who is 0 for 1. A 2-1 pitch. There goes the runner. Nido with the arm. Not good enough. And that is runner at second now. A full count and a strikeout for Perkins. That was a good pitch, wasn't it? Just fading away nicely. All right, Ty France, who walked first time around. This time he pops it up into left field. Oh, it's a diving catch by William McQuaid. He's not supposed to be able to do that. 2 away, runner at second for Chorio, who is 0 for 1. It's a 1-1 pitch. It's a ground ball. It gets past the third baseman. It will drive in the first run of the game. And it will be an RBI double for Chorio. 2 away, runner at second for Stanton, who's 0 for 1. A full count. And a walk. So 2 on, 2 out now. Naylor, who is 1 for 1. An 0-2 pitch. And a strikeout to end the top of the third. We have fallen behind, though. And Made will lead us off. He was terrible at the end of last season. And he starts off the way he ended, unfortunately. 1 away. In comes Nido. His first at bat of the year. First pitch swing. He was brilliant at the end of last season. 2 home runs, of course, in game 3. But he's been robbed there by Schnitzel. And it'll bring Pete Crow Armstrong back in, 0 for 1 today, and he has popped it up. And that'll do it. We are 1-0 down going to the top of the 4th. It's Lewis to face Perkins. Lewis 0 for 1 today. It is a 2-2 pitch. It is popped up into centre field. Petey Crow Armstrong should have that. And that'll be 1 away. In comes Teal, 1 for 1 today. Full count and a strikeout for the second out in the top of the 4th. And it is Schnitzel now to face the new man, Herter. Now, I would have thought Perkins could have gone a little bit further than that. But anyway, Herter comes onto the mound. It's an 0-1 pitch. And it is a ground ball made over to Vlad. And that'll end the top of the 4th. Now, I didn't see Perkins getting an injury. I could have missed it. I don't understand why else we would have taken him off. He hadn't pitched that many, had he? Anyway, Vlad to lead us off. He grounds it to the shortstop. He is not come back from injury particularly well, if we're honest. Struggled in spring training and is carrying those struggles on to opening day. McQuaid, who was 1 for 1, will now be 1 for 2. And it'll bring Bregman up looking for his first hit as a Cub. A 1-0 pitch. Bregman grounds it to the shortstop, and that will be 3 away, sorry, even. It'll end the inning. Herta to face Urias, who is 0 for 0. Must have walked last time around. This time he watches strike 3. He can go and take a seat. Nicely done by Herta. It'll bring in Ahuna now, who's 0 for 2. A 1-0 pitch. And ground ball to Vlad. That'll be 2 away. And in comes France, who is 0 for 1. An 0-1 pitch. A ground ball up the middle, and that'll be a 2-out single as Pete Crow Armstrong will get it in. And can we end the inning? It's Chorio, who is 1 for 2 with an RBI already. And that is a ground ball. It would have been a double play if we needed it. But we only needed 1. So we'll go to the bottom of the 5th. 1-0 down. Davis will lead us off. He is 1 for 1 today. It's a full count. Brennan Davis hits it into centre field. Caught. 1 away. And it'll bring in Julian, who's 0 for 1. A first pitch swing for Edward. Julian grounds it to the second baseman. That'll be 2 away. I don't want to draw any sort of mass conclusions here. Corbin Burns is a good pitcher, so we could well be up against a guy on a good day as Rafaela strikes out. But, yeah, I mean, it's looking very similar to our playoff run so far, isn't it? The bats just aren't quite taking off. Herta, though, gets a second strikeout for 1 away. Naylor will come in. He's 1 for 2 today. First pitch swing. And a ground ball should be playable there. Rafaela over to Vlad. 2 away. And in will come Royce even Lewis. He is 0 for 2. It's an 0-2 pitch. And Lewis strikes out to end the top of the 6th. It is still 1-0. And Maid will lead us off. It's an 0-1 pitch. Can Kevin Maid get on base? He sliced it away into right field. And it will be a hit. So, leadoff man aboard. Nido now, who's 0 for 1. An 0-2 pitch. Nido watches it. That is a very... Yeah, I'd be look puzzled by that call as well. Looked a ball to me. In comes Pete Crow Armstrong. 0 for 2. He strikes out. So it's going to be down to Vlad to try and keep the inning alive. He's 0 for 2. Vlad, there goes the runner. Maid will get to second. Alright, come on, Vlad. Let's tie this game, mate. Oh, that's a loose one. Alright, Vlad, you just need to get yourself on base here now. Nice little base hit will do it for us. Come on, Vlad. 2-2. Oh, he's grounded it to the shortstop. Vlad looks absolutely clueless. And that'll do it for the 6th. We strand a man at third. Teal will face Herta. He is 1 for 2. A 1-1 pitch. A ground ball. Rafaela over to first. 1 away. In comes Snitzel, who's 0 for 2. A full count. And a ground ball. Again, should be easy. It is. 2 away. And Urias 0 for 1. A 1-2 pitch. Can Herta finish the inning? Yes, he can. And we will stretch. 1-0 down and still everything to play for. Okay, welcome back. It's William McQuaid to lead us off. 1 for 2 today. Full count. McQuaid rips it down the first base line. That should be at least a double. I don't think he's the quickest, and he will slide into second, but tying run is at second. No one out. And we've got Bregman now with a chance to make himself an instant hero. He's 0 for 2 so far today. Bregman. Well, that would have been... useless in any situation, that hit, wouldn't it? Brennan Davis now 1 for 2. A 2-0. Brennan Davis! It is into deep right field. McQuaid will tag and go to third. So with 2 out, for the second inning in a row, we have a man at third. Can Edward Julian drive it in? A full count. Julian strikes out, and again, we strand that man at third. Another new man, Carlos Vargas to the mound. He's going to face Ahuna, who is 0 for 3. It's a full count. Vargas. Oh, what a play from Vlad. Unfortunately, he forgot to run to the bag and he's safe. But it was absolutely crushed. Alright, Ty France now, who is 1 for 2. Oh, this is suddenly looking a little bit troublesome. 2 on, none out. Chorio to the plate, 1 for 3. A 1-2 pitch and a strikeout that was needed. 1 away. We know that Vargas can get a ground ball. If he can get one here, it'll be very nice indeed. And he just might have got it. 1-2. And we are out of that inning. All right, let's go back, boys. Oh, no, we're not. Are we? Yeah, we are. Rafaela will lead us off. He's 0 for 2. It's a 3-0 pitch. Rafaela, it's into deep center field, but it's not deep enough. And when you swing at a 3-0 pitch, it really does need to leave, doesn't it? Made will bat now. He is 1 for 2. It's a first pitch swing. Kevin Made grounds it to the second baseman, who bobbles it, and Made gets himself on base. It's an infield hit, so he's maybe been quite lucky there, looking at what I saw. But anyway, Nido, a 1-1. Nido, is that going to drop in for us? It is! The bottom of the order is getting it done. The 8 and 9 men are aboard, 1 out. And it's Petey Crow Armstrong, 0 for 3, looking for his first hit of the season. First pitch into right field. It's going to be caught. It's going to keep the runners where they are. And it's going to be Vlad, who should be excited to come in and bat, but he's not done well. Has he done well there, though? Has Vlad tied the game? Kevin Made comes home. And Vlad Jr. with an RBI single in the bottom of the 8th does indeed tie the game. Now McQuaid, who is 2 for 3. It's a 1-2 pitch. McQuaid, oh, that's going to be caught. That will end the inning, but we'll go into the 9th. And we will be tied at 1. And Naylor will face Vargas. Naylor 1 for 3 today. It's a 2-0 pitch. It's a ground ball. Vlad, this time remembers to run to the base. 1 away. In comes Lewis, who is 0 for 3. First pitch swing. And that is into right field. Davis goes back, makes the catch. 2 away. In comes Teal, who is 1 for 3. It's a full count. And it's a strike. Oh, it looked low, but Nato made it look better than it was. And that's why he's still behind the plate. Bregman, 0 for 3. Can he walk us off here? He can walk himself off, but nobody else. 1 away. In comes Davis, who is 1 for 3. It's a full count. Come on, Brennan. Davis into right field. That should drop in. So the go-ahead run, the winning run, is at first with 1 away. It brings Edouard Julian in to face new men on the mound. Davis sharp. What can Julian do? It gets away from the catch. It was an 0-2 pitch. So go-ahead run is now at second. It's a 1-2. Come on, Edouard. Come on, mate. Come on. Julian. Oh, back to the pitcher. Out at first. And it's going to be down to Rafaela to try and do this. No, we're pinch hitting. It's Ballesteros coming in. A first pitch swing. They walk him. They're trying to get to Kevin Made, and rightfully so, if I'm honest. Kevin Made, though, 2 for 3 today, and they don't respect you, Kev. Make him pay for it. It's a 2-2 pitch. It is going to drop in. Is it Kevin Made? He may have just won it. He may have just won it. We're coming around. We scored, and Kevin Made! It's a walk-off RBI single, and we've won on opening day, 2-1. So, Kevin Made, we dropped him down the order from leadoff man last year because he was just pathetic at the end of last season, and he's come up big there. 3 for 4 on opening day, including the walk-off game-winning RBI, and, well, he just did very well. He's only 24, still a long career ahead of him. If he can just learn to bat a little bit better, he's going to be an absolute star for us, isn't he? But there we go. We win opening days. It's too early to talk perfect season. Of course not. And, well, there we go. That is very, very nicely done indeed. Love to see that. And if you've enjoyed that, make sure you hit thumbs up. Subscribe if you're new. We'll be back next time. Let's see where we can come back here. Oh, the Battle of Chicago. We'll come back for Game 3 in the Battle of Chicago. And hopefully by then we'll have got ourselves off to a cracking start. And well, no more major injuries would be a nice thing as well, wouldn't it? Until next time, guys, I've been Aussie Bill, and thank you so much for watching. Take care.